Think about the last time you swiped on a dating app. You didn't weigh the pros and cons. In a fraction of a second, your thumb made the decision for you. Princeton researchers Janine Willis and Alexander Todorov discovered it takes just 100 milliseconds to form a complete judgment of a stranger. That is 1/10 of a single second. For comparison, a physical blink of your eye takes about 300 milliseconds. Your brain has already decided if someone is trustworthy before your eyelids can even finish shutting. Why does your mind rush this process? Because thousands of years ago, mistaking a threat for a friend meant instant death. Your ancestors survived by judging first and thinking much later. In these micro moments, you are not looking at their outfit. You are instantly scanning their facial structure for two specific hidden signals that scream safety or danger. But how does this happen before you even consciously register their face? It turns out a primal part of your brain is staging a hostile takeover, bypassing your logic entirely. Imagine walking into a room and locking eyes with a stranger. In just 1/10 of a second, your brain has already made a judgment. You haven't even registered their shirt color yet. How does this happen so fast? Normally, visual data travels to your visual cortex to be processed logically. But when meeting someone new, your brain takes a dangerous, lightning-fast shortcut. Instead of taking the rational high road to the cortex, the image of that stranger's face splits. It races directly to your amygdala, the brain's almond-shaped emotional alarm system. This is what Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman calls System 1 thinking. It is fast, instinctive, and completely subconscious. It operates on autopilot, scanning constantly for threats without your permission. Why does the amygdala hijack your perception? Because survival demands speed over accuracy. It cares about whether this person will hurt you, not if they have a nice smile. Princeton researchers Janine Willis and Alexander Todorov tested this. They exposed participants to faces for just 100 milliseconds. Surprisingly, those split-second judgments of trustworthiness matched decisions made with unlimited time. Meanwhile, your slow, logical System 2 cortex is still booting up. By the time you notice their eye color or hear their name, your amygdala has already signed the verdict. Think of it as a biological relic from our evolutionary past. On the ancient savannah, waiting 300 milliseconds to analyze a stranger's intentions could mean the difference between life and death. So, your brain cheats. It uses fast facial cues to map safety. But how does this ancient alarm system decide who to trust based on a glance? The answer lies in our ancestors. We inherited a biological cheat code that tricks us into thinking attractive people are automatically trustworthy. But what happens when this ancient safety hack completely misfires? Let's look at the bias ruling you. Imagine standing in a Pleistocene savanna 50,000 years ago. A rustle in the tall grass could be a harmless rabbit or a deadly predator. You had to decide instantly. In this brutal environment, mistaking a threat for a friend meant immediate death. Your ancestors survived by prioritizing speed over accuracy. It was a life-saving cognitive cheat code. Today, you still run that exact Neanderthal software on your modern smartphone hardware. When you meet someone new, your brain immediately scans them for survival cues. But what are we looking for now? In 1920, psychologist Edward Thorndike coined this shortcut the halo effect. He noticed military commanders rated physically fit soldiers as also being more loyal, neat, and highly intelligent. Look at a neatly dressed stranger. Your brain instantly triggers a cascade of positive assumptions. We automatically label attractive or symmetrical faces as trustworthy, kind, and even highly successful. It is not just about physical beauty. A crisp suit collar, a firm handshake, or a tidy desk acts as a proxy for moral character. We associate neatness with absolute competence. Why does your mind take this shortcut? Your brain consumes 20% of your body's energy. Labeling someone instantly saves glucose, preserving precious fuel for actual physical emergencies. But the real danger starts right after the initial judgment. Once the brain checks the good box, confirmation bias locks it in. You begin ignoring every red flag that contradicts your first impression. A famous study showed that jurors consistently hand down lighter sentences to attractive defendants. We bend reality to keep our initial 0.1-second verdicts intact, refusing to admit we were wrong. This survival hack rules your daily life, but can you actually map it? What if just 2 specific facial dimensions dictate whether people see you as a leader or a threat? At Princeton University, researcher Alexander Todorov discovered something startling about human faces. Your brain grades every new face on a silent, 2-dimensional grid. It takes less than 100 milliseconds. The horizontal axis of this mental grid measures trustworthiness. Your amygdala instantly scans the mouth area. A slight upward curve suggests safety, while a downturned mouth signals immediate hostility. Why the mouth? Evolutionary biology shows our ancestors needed to identify friends from foes instantly. A relaxed, upturned mouth meant cooperation, ensuring you wouldn't get clubbed over a piece of meat. The vertical axis measures dominance, driven primarily by your brow ridge and jaw width. A prominent brow and wide jaw tell your brain this person is physically strong and potentially dangerous. This physical mapping goes back millions of years. High testosterone levels create wider jaws and heavier brows. Your brain reads these biological signals as indicators of power and potential physical threat. This calculation happens so fast, you don't even realize it. Your amygdala reacts to these facial shapes before your conscious visual cortex can even register who you are actually looking at. But what happens when this ancient system fails you? You might meet a perfectly kind stranger, yet feel an irrational urge to walk away just because of their natural brow structure. This bias isn't just personal, it changes society. Princeton researchers found that political candidates with high dominance ratings in their faces are far more likely to win elections, regardless of platform. Even in courtrooms, the stakes are terrifyingly high. Studies reveal that defendants with low trustworthiness facial scores receive harsher sentences, even when the evidence against them is exactly the same. So, are we doomed to be ruled by these split-second prehistoric judgments? Or is there a psychological hack to override your amygdala and reset a terrible first impression? Let's find out. So your amygdala just made a judgment call in 100 milliseconds. You can't stop this ancient survival hardwiring from firing, but here is the real question. Do you have to believe it? Neuroscientists show your prefrontal cortex, the logical brain, needs slightly longer to process social data. If you pause for just 5 seconds, you force System 2 thinking to double-check the amygdala's work. Think of it as a cognitive audit. When you instantly dislike a new coworker, your brain is running a 200,000-year-old evolutionary script. The 5-second delay lets you ask, are they actually dangerous? Often that instant gut feeling isn't intuition at all. It is just your brain reacting to a shadow, a vocal pitch, or a jawline that reminds you of a childhood bully. Psychologists call this the error management theory. Your ancestors survived by assuming a harmless stranger was a threat. because guessing wrong meant death. But today, it just limits your social circle. You can outsmart your amygdala with a 1-second reset. But what happens when marketers and politicians use these exact same facial biases to secretly manipulate your vote and your wallet? We like to think we're rational judges of character. But the truth is, your conscious mind is just a passenger to ancient survival software. You can't stop this 100-millisecond reflex, but you can choose whether to let a primitive panic response dictate who you trust. After all, how many life-changing connections have you already swiped away just because your inner caveman got scared?